be honest, Dad's a great businessman, but he lacks imagination. He does, however, believe in the power of the individual, when taught by the right teacher, of course. Ryan! In here. Just coming. He's through here.
To whom do I owe the pleasure?
Detective Inspector Jenks. I am investigating a death in the village. I believe you knew Kate Vine.
Oh, I thought all this was dealt with, Inspector. You do know that Kate Vine was a gherkin short of a Big Mac. You do now.
Father.
You must forgive my son, Inspector. He still can't summon up the courage to come straight to the point. So what do you want to know?
Well, a few more questions if you don't mind.
But I do mind. I'm a very busy man. Try asking an intelligent question, like, do I mind being quizzed about a once promising student who turned into a useless drunk? Ryan, would you mind leaving us for a while?
I'll go back to the centre. I have one or two things to prepare. Call me if you need me, Dad.
You may begin, Mr. Holmes, although I'm not going to be able to help you. I don't have much to do with the course nowadays, so I can't give you any hard information.
That's as maybe, but we
No, that's
need...
as is. But if you want my opinion, I'd be quite happy to give it to you. So, fire away.
Okay, thank you. Well, Paul certainly doesn't take any prisoners. It's obvious who's pulling the strings in this family, and I wonder what they got up to in their previous guise as Third Eye. 8 o'clock already. How well did you know Kate?
Hardly knew her at all. Met her a few times. But the course, that's about all.
So when was the last time you saw her?
Last Friday. I just popped out of the course and about 7.
Did you speak to her then?
It's possible.
And how did she seem? Was she happy, sad, preoccupied?
She was drunk.
Do you know if Kate had lost this? It's her driving licence.
How would I know that?
You didn't see it lying around anywhere?
No.
Did you know anything about Simon Thompson's bike?
No.
Ever tried Simon's homebrew? Simon Thompson?
No, I haven't. I wouldn't touch anything that has had Simon's fingers in it.
Have you seen this before?
Looks familiar. Where did you find it?
It was, in the woods.
Presumably had something to do with Kate or a killer.
Well, that's what I'm trying to establish.
Shouldn't it be in an evidence bag, Inspector, in case of contamination?
I didn't have one with me, unfortunately.
Well, don't go testing it for DNA, will you? It's got yours all over it.
What do you know about this?
It's a freedom necklace. It's a symbol we use sometimes on the course. Little bird in cage flying away. Freeing themselves from their past is the analogy.
So do they get them when they join the course or something?
No, not as a rule. I think I bought one once as a present.
Oh, not for Kate, by any chance?
No, not for Kate. I can't really remember who it was for. A birthday present, maybe for one of the students.
Which student?
I've no idea.
What do you know about this?
Looks like a mask.
You don't recognise it?
Not particularly. Looks like a monarch mask.
What's a monarch mask?
Monarch is a fancy dress outfitters. Ryan goes there sometimes.
Could you tell me a bit about this?
Had it designed by an agency.
And when was that?
Last year.
Is that when you started the business?
Yes, I suppose so.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
I believe it's a scrying mirror, pagan thing.
Ever used one?
Why would I use a scrying mirror?
So you have no interest at all in this sort of thing?
No,
Does the Atlas course use them at all?
not at all. Strange question.
What did you hear about an argument in the pub last Friday?
I didn't go to the pub last Friday.
You didn't hear anything about an argument in the pub?
Should I have?
No, that's fine. How well did you know Liam?
Liam who?
Liam, who took his life.
Oh. Well, as far as I remember, he was a good student, confident, outgoing.
You didn't notice any problems?
I believe he had problems at home.
Were you there when he died?
Yes.
And afterwards? You didn't see him after the meeting?
No.
What was Liam like that night?
No. Apart from being drunk, or possibly because of that, he seemed perfectly happy.
He was drunk.
Well, I assume the bottle in his hand contained whiskey and not lemonade.
Lots of similarities to Kate, don't you think? Drinking, depression, is that normal for the students?
People come into the Atlas course for quick solutions to their problems. And when they don't get them as quickly as they might have liked, sometimes their impatience gets the better of them.
Know what this is, by any chance?
I've no idea. Gardening isn't my kind of thing. Rebecca would probably know. I presume you've met Rebecca.
Yes, I am.
I'm sure she'd enjoy telling you what it is. She's the kind of woman who likes to feel superior. Would probably marry a millionaire and then decide to run her own pub.
Yes, why was that?
Well, she isn't exactly housewife material. She likes to be in control, like Ryan. Shame, isn't it, that I'm in control of both of them?
Have you ever heard of Salvia divinorum, or magic mint?
Sounds like it might be a drug.
It's a hallucinogenic plant. Legal, as a matter of fact.
I'm not a drug taker, Inspector. I have no enthusiasm for voluntarily poisoning your brain.
And you've never seen anyone on the course taking it?
Well, if someone had, they wouldn't have done it openly. We don't allow drugs or alcohol in our course. We like to tell the students that success is the best drug. Whether you buy into that, of course, is another matter.
What do you know about this?
So you've been graced with Goebbels' company already, have you? James, our local minister for propaganda. I suppose Ryan already told you about our actual previous incarnation.
He explained, yes.
Did he tell you anything scandalous?
Not unless you count the suicide.
Oh. These things happen.
Was it your idea?
The suicide?
Third eye.
Yeah, I suppose it was. As my son had started to atrophy, I decided I ought to give him something to do.
And third eye was the same as Atlas, teaching business skills.
Very similar.
So Liam's death didn't prompt you to make any changes?
There was nothing we could do about Liam's death, Inspector. any more than we could do anything about Kate's. It was out of our control.
You can't blame me for wondering, Paul. 2 student deaths in 2 years.
It's called a coincidence, Inspector. I expect they ate fast food also. But you're not investigating all the local chippies, are you?
If I did this, would it mean anything to you?
I presume you've seen an Atlas student doing that.
Ah, so this is an Atlas thing.
Well, it wasn't exactly our idea. The students started doing it spontaneously to show commitment to the cause. Cute, really. Which student did you see doing that?
I'm not sure, but he was carving it into a tree. I told him to stop.
Did you really? Why?
Defacing public property.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. What's the punishment for that kind of thing nowadays? Prison sentence?
Oh, it's usually a fine.
All right. What about defiling public liberty? Does that carry a fine too?
Oddly enough, the student in question argued a similar point. Is that something you encourage on the Atlas course?
We encourage people who put ideas first and moral anachronisms second. The problem with the law, Inspector, is that it's out of date.
Well, I suppose that's a matter of opinion. However, you still respect it.
Respect it. I abide by it. We all play by the book, Inspector, but that's only because of the threat of possible incarceration.
Can you tell me a little about the Atlas phrase, free to be free?
Where did you hear that?
I was talking to one of your students.
It's a little phrase we conjured up to summarize our objectives.
What is your objective, if you don't mind me asking?
Mine, or do you mean the course's objective?
On the course.
The objective of the course is to free people from bondage. We teach that most people are crippled by their past, by guilt, their attitudes, their beliefs, all that kind of nonsense.
Guilt cripples people.
Feeling guilty in business is like a meat eater feeling guilty in an abattoir. Guilt comes from the archaic emotional centers of the brain. It's a vestige of our animal ancestry, that's all. In business, you heed it at your peril. I'm sorry, Inspector. My house appears to be haunted. Would you mind closing the door?
So, you believe that guilt has no place in business?
None at all. I have few beliefs, Inspector, but that's one of them.
And what if you have done something wrong?
Well, that's the whole point. Guilt has nothing to do with it.
Interesting opinion. That's all for the moment. Thank you. I get the feeling I might be seeing a lot of Paul tonight.
Jenks, surprise me.
Chief, lots of new information for you.
Oh, hang on. Let me sit down. Go on.
You know that cult I was telling you about? Well, it turns out it was Atlas all along. They were the same thing.
You don't say.
And the student... How did you know that?
It was pretty obvious, Jenks.
Right. Well, the student who died last year, Liam, was a student there. They had to change their name after he died and were forced into an out-of-court settlement with the family.
Dodgy bunch.
Also, I met Paul Rand, finally. He's worse than Ryan, doesn't give a straight answer to anything.
What did he say about Liam?
Not much, other than that he was drinking throughout the course.
So we've got 2 heavy drinkers and 2 suicides in 2 years. They must be proud. Push him some more. See what you can get out of him.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks, Chief.
Let yourself go. Feel your soul Then wait for the moment to break free.
Then break free. Excellent, Hannah.
Well,
Could you come back later, please?
what's going on here?
Please, leave.
Sorry, Ryan, there's a few more questions I have to ask you yet, and time's ticking by.
Leave.
Okay. A few more questions, please. Thank you.
What do you know about doll burning?
Not on the course. It's a ritual thing. It's getting rid of things that you don't need. Throw it into the fire.
And that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, it helps you getting rid of things you don't need, so you can move on and take control again.
So what are the masks for?
They're just to help you get into the right frame of mind. Just get you into the zone, help with the trance.
A trance?
Yeah. It's like self-hypnosis. We do it on the course sometimes. It's just to help you get into the right frame of mind,
So you hypnotize yourself? How do you do that?
Just stare into a mirror and chant something, just say the same thing over and over again. Or you could just close your eyes and put yourself into a trance. Some people can do that.
And that's safe?
Well, yeah. Hypnosis doesn't work the way that most people think it does. You can't just be hypnotized if you don't want to be hypnotized. But you can learn to hypnotize yourself.
What did you say it was called? Auto-hypnosis?
Self-hypnosis, auto-hypnosis, same thing really.
I think Simon was a bit too quick to play down the role of auto-hypnosis on the course. I'll have to ask around about this. be back later on, if that's okay.
What do you know about doll burning?
Doll burning, I think, was something that they did on the course. Simon mentioned it.
Oh, they didn't do that when you were there?
No.
Do you know what auto-hypnosis is?
It's some type of self-hypnosis, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't. But I think Kate was into it. She learned it from when she went to Atlas.
And what did she tell you about it?
Not a lot, really. I think it helped her. I think she used it as a sort of self-meditation.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Ask you a couple more things, please.
What do you know about doll burning at Atlas?
Only that it's part of the course. I'm not entirely sure what they're for, but I made dozens for him.
You made them?
Oh, Ryan can't make anything. He's practically dyspraxic.
Do you know anything about hypnosis used on the Atlas course?
Are you sure you mean hypnosis or the power of persuasion?
What's the difference?
Not a lot. But if you want someone to do something, it's usually easier to ask nicely.
Atlas used persuasion techniques.
Well, don't all businesses use it, Inspector? Ever heard of advertising?
Thank you. probably be back later. So, those are Ryan's guitars, kept in a garage. Not really the best place to keep them. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
What do you know about doll burning?
Doll burning? What sort of doll burning?
It doesn't mean anything to you.
No. Should it?
No, that's okay. Ever heard of auto-hypnosis, James? Self-hypnosis.
Yeah?
And what do you know about it?
It's another name for scrying. Some people call it auto-hypnosis, I call it scrying.
Right. So you're saying scrying is just self-hypnosis?
Scrying? You can scry on anything. I don't use a mirror. I can scry watching the clouds. Maybe the water on a lake in the moonlight.
And when you're watching the water, what happens? You go into a trance?
You lose yourself in your unconscious. You go deeper and deeper. You swim around. Try not to go too deep. Because if you go too deep, you start drowning. Then you get dragged down to the bottom. As long as you stay swimming, come to the surface again. Then you wake up and see the world as it really is. It's like a journey to a place people talk about, but no one's ever seen. You're thinking about Kate, aren't you?
What makes you say that?
She bought a mirror. Sold her one last year.
Was she into using mirrors like that?
No idea. But she bought one.
Right.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask about a few more things, please. What can you tell me about doll burning at Atlas?
Not very much. It's one of Ryan's ideas. My son is under the illusion that he's a genius.
Can you tell me more about the auto-hypnosis techniques used on the course?
We don't use hypnosis on the course.
Not at all.
Not anymore.
So, how was it used?
Hypnosis is probably the wrong word, Inspector. It's nothing to do with the trances or things like that. It was meant to force, to help students.
Did you force them?
You can't force anybody into being hypnotized. You have to want to be hypnotized. It's not something out of your control. You can't be hurt or damaged in any way by hypnosis.
So you've never put pressure on students to enter into hypnosis?
It would be impossible to do so.
Does Ryan play the guitar?
Ryan? Ryan couldn't get a tune out of a radio. He's tone deaf.
Okay, so he's never tried to go professional?
If he did try, it was never going to happen.
That's all for the moment, thank you. couple more questions, if that's okay. Does Ryan play the guitar?
He tries. He does keep wasting money on them, though. I think he believes if he buys the right one, he'll suddenly turn into Jimi Hendrix. It's sad, really. I just let him play in his room. As long as he plays in there, I don't mind.
Be back later on, if that's okay. A few more questions, please. What do you know about Ryan's guitar collection?
Not a whole lot. I know he brought a guitar to one of the groups once, at the end of one of the stages. That's the only time I've seen him with a guitar.
Thank you. Probably be back later. What do you know about Ryan's guitar collection?
I know he plays, because he tried to buy one off me.
Do you play?
I used to. I used to be in a band, but I was a singer as well, so I got away with it.
Singer as well?
Yeah, I used to sing in a band every night. But sometimes it was in a pub, but usually at Rebecca's.
What was that called?
It was called Blackstone. And this guy from a record company once came to see us, and he said the band was rubbish, but that I was good. So after that, I don't think they liked me much, and then we broke up after college.
Can't hide talent.
Aha!
That band you sang in, Blackstone. Who else was in the band?
Just a few people from college.
Including Liam?
Yeah.
Why did you say you didn't know him?
No, it's not that. I just thought you meant that I didn't know about his suicide.
Did you?
No, I was away on holiday.
When he died?
Yeah, I only knew him through the band.
She definitely knows more than she's saying. She was in a band with Liam, but didn't know about his problem? I'm not sure I believe you, Emma. That's it for the time being. Thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask you a couple more things, please. That's all for the moment. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Aha. So if you don't allow drink or drugs onto the site, why did you allow Liam to drink whiskey all night?
Well, we did give him various warnings. Did try to stop him, but didn't work.
But you let him stay on the course?
Yeah, well, we couldn't throw him out. This isn't a primary school, Inspector. We're not the police. We can't enforce these rules. If they pay their fees, they're entitled to stay on the course.
And what if they want to take drugs?
As long as they do it with discretion, frankly, I don't care if they want to wipe or inject paint stripper all over their faces.
Do you store any alcohol at Atlas?
No.
Is there a kitchen?
Why, do you want to go down there and check?
Well, obviously you wouldn't mind if what you're saying is true.
Of course I wouldn't mind. It's past the lavatories down the corridor, but you won't find any drugs in there or alcohol.
Whether I find alcohol at Atlas or not, it probably isn't particularly relevant. But it's worth a look anyway. Be back later on, if that's okay.